Welcome to the deep dive. This is where we take different sources, notes, articles, things you've sent in, and we pull out the really important bits, the surprising stuff, everything to get you informed quickly. Today, we're tackling something, well, essential for anyone driving a car. Not your everyday commute, but those times the road throws you a curveball, tricky conditions, sudden emergencies, that kind of thing.
Exactly. And our main source today, you might be surprised, it's Chapter 10, Special Driving Conditions, right from the DMV Driver's Manual. Now you might think, oh, that's for learners.
Right, for the tests.
Yeah, but honestly, this chapter is packed with information that any driver, experienced or not, really needs to know to be safe and, prepared out there.
It really is. So our goal today is to dig into this chapter, get past just the basic rules, and find those crucial, maybe even slightly weird bits of advice for handling these tough situations. Let's find those takeaways that could genuinely make a difference. Okay, let's get into it.
Well, the manual kicks off with a really fundamental point, one that's maybe easy to forget day to day. Driving always needs your full attention, good judgment. Always.
Sure.
But when conditions get tricky or hazardous, that need for attention, for judgment, it just ramps up a lot. It's a good reminder that safe driving isn't just about sunny days and clear roads.
Absolutely. And one of the first special conditions it digs into is railroad crossings. Just saying it can make you a bit tense.
Understandably, yeah.
Yeah.
The manual treats them basically like intersections, but, the cross-traffic could be a huge, fast-moving train. So the core idea is simple. Always, always expect a train on any track, anytime, coming from either way.
And it lays down some hard rules. Never, ever try to race a train. Don't go around lowered gates. It seems obvious, but people do it. And crucially, never stop on the tracks.
Definitely not. It explains the difference between active crossings, the ones with lights, gates, maybe bells, and passive ones, which don't have signs. At those active ones, the rule's crystal clear. Stop at least 15 feet back. That's about 5 meters when those lights start flashing or the gates come down. And you have to wait. Wait until the lights are off, gates fully up before you move. Going around, forget it. Illegal, incredibly dangerous.
And for the passive ones, without the gates and lights.
You need to slow right down, be ready to stop completely. Make absolutely sure you can see clearly down the tracks both ways before you even think about crossing. The signs are key here. There's that round yellow one with RR and an X.
That's your early warning.
Right, you see those further back.
Yeah. Then right at the tracks, there's the white X-shaped sign, the crossbuck. That means yield. Listen, be prepared to stop. And sometimes it'll say how many tracks there are, too.
Okay.
Now, this is super important, something the manual really hammers home. Never start crossing unless you are totally 100% sure your entire vehicle can clear all the tracks. And, critically, that there's enough space for your car on the other side before you start. If traffic's backed up over the crossing, you wait behind the line. Don't get stuck on the tracks. That seems like a common way people get into trouble. It also mentions specific vehicles that have to stop every single time, right? No matter what.
Yes, absolutely. School buses, obviously, even empty ones. Other buses if they have passengers. And any vehicle carrying hazardous materials like explosives or flammables, they must stop at all crossings. Good to know if you're driving behind one.
Definitely.
Okay, now, this is where it gets really memorable. And frankly, it's something you just have to burn into your brain because it feels wrong. The nightmare scenario, your car stalls right on the tracks.
Okay, yeah. What does it say? The steps are critical here?
Step 1, absolute priority. Get everyone out immediately. Don't mess around trying the ignition. Passengers out first, get them out.
Get out, okay.
And then get everyone away from the tracks. Far away. Put distance between you and that stalled car. Even if you don't see or hear a train yet, just get clear.
Makes sense. Then what?
Look for the emergency notification system sign. There should be one posted right near the crossing. It'll have a phone number and an ID number for that specific crossing. Call that number. Report it. Tell them your car is stuck on the tracks at that location.
Right, the blue sign usually. Okay.
And here's the bit that really sticks with you. If you do see a train coming, the manual says you need to run towards the train, but angle away from the tracks. Like at a 45-degree angle away from the tracks, but running in the general direction the train is coming from.
Wait, run towards the train? That sounds completely backwards. My instinct would be run away as fast as possible.
I know, mine too. That's why this is such a vital piece of information. The logic is about debris, physics, basically. If you run straight down the track away from the train, when it hits your car, all the wreckage gets thrown forward, down the track, right at you.
I see.
By running towards the train but angling sharply away from the tracks, you get clear of that direct impact zone and the flying debris, much more safely. If you don't see a train, obviously, just focus on getting far away from the tracks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, very practical, but totally counterintuitive. Okay, shifting gears a bit. Expressway driving. Very different ballgame than city streets.
Totally different, yeah.
Yeah.
The source calls them divided highways, multiple lanes, controlled access, meaning you only get on and off at ramps. Speeds are higher, usually 55 mile per hour, maybe 65 in some spots.
And preparation seems really important here. It says, know your entrance and exit before you even get on the expressway. Fumbling for directions at 60 mile per hour is not good.
Not good at all.
Uh,
Plan ahead. When you're entering, that on-ramp is for accelerating. You need to get up to the speed of traffic before you merge. Signal, check your mirrors, and crucially, look over your shoulder for that blind spot. Can't rely just on mirrors.
What if the ramp is really short?
Good question. The manual actually covers that. If it's very short, it says you might need to stop at the end of the ramp, wait for a really big gap in traffic, and then accelerate. Hard to merge safely.
Okay, once you're actually on the expressway.
Usual stuff, but more critical at speed. Signal well before you change lanes. Always check that blind spot. And a nice courtesy tip it mentions, if you're in the right lane and see traffic merging from an entrance ramp, maybe move over a lane to the left if it's safe. Gives them room.
Good point.
And exiting. Signal early, at least 100 feet, that's about 30 meters,
Yeah.
before the exit ramp. And importantly, slow down on the ramp itself, not on the main expressway. Ramps often curve sharply and have much lower speed limits.
Right, don't slam the brakes on the highway, and then once you're off...
Immediately look for new speed limit signs. You'll likely be going much slower than you were just seconds before. It's easy to keep going too fast.
So the main takeaway for expressways seems to be faster speeds mean faster thinking, right? More focus needed.
Absolutely. Faster decisions, smoother handling. Oh, and it adds a couple of practical tips for long trips. Plan rest stops, don't put yourself, and use sunglasses for glare. Simple stuff, but important.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, let's talk about night driving. That's another condition that really changes things.
It really does. Visibility is the key issue. The manual says something like 90% of our driving decisions depend on what we see. At night, obviously, you see a lot less. Plus, our vision naturally gets a bit worse as we age, making it even tougher.
So the basic rule is just slow down.
Pretty much. Drive slower than you would in daylight. It uses the phrase, drive within the range of your headlights, meaning you need to be able to stop safely in the distance your lights illuminate ahead. For typical low beams, that's maybe 350 feet or so.
And the law is specific about when headlights must be on.
Yep. Half hour after sunset to half hour before sunrise. Also, anytime visibility is less than 1,000 feet, about 300 meters. And this is key. Anytime you're using your windshield wipers for rain, snow, or sleet, headlights on. Dawn, dusk, fog, turn them on then too. And it specifically says parking lights, or those daytime running lights. Not good enough. They don't light the road, and they don't make you visible enough from behind.
Okay. And high beams, big issue with glare.
Huge issue. Courtesy is key. You must dim your high beams within 500 feet, that's about 150 meters of an oncoming car, and within 200 feet, or 60 meters, of a car you're following, even if it's in another lane. Dim for pedestrians, too. And if you have extra fog lights or driving lights, they can't cause dangerous glare either.
What if someone's coming at you with their high beams on?
The advice is, quick flash of your own high beams as a reminder, then immediately switch back to low. Don't get into a high beam war. And to avoid being blinded, don't stare into their lights. Look down towards the right edge of your lane, the white line. Use that as a guide until they pass.
Smart. And what about glare from behind or inside the car?
Simple fixes. Flip your inside rear view mirror to the night setting, usually a little tab underneath. Keep your dome light off while driving. Dim your dashboard lights if they're too bright. Use your sun visors if needed. Little things add up.
And keeping things clean helps too.
Oh, massively. A dirty windshield, inside or out, scatters light and creates way more glare. Same with dirty headlights, they just don't project light as well. Keep them clean.
Okay, moving on to probably the most common special conditions. Rain, fog, snow. Slippery roads are the big danger here.
Absolutely. Rain, snow, ice, obviously slippery. But the manual makes a point of mentioning wet leaves. They can be surprisingly slick, almost like ice in some cases. So the absolute must-dos, slow way down and leave way more following distance between you and the car ahead.
And then there's hydroplaning. That sounds terrifying.
It is, yeah. It's basically when your tires lose contact with the road surface because there's a layer of water between them. You're literally floating for a second with no steering or braking control.
Wow.
It happens more easily at higher speeds, and it's much worse if your tires are worn down or not inflated properly. Good tread depth is crucial for channeling water away.
So what do you do?
Slow down. If it's raining heavily, just slow down significantly. If you feel the car start to lose traction, that light, floaty feeling, ease off the gas immediately. Don't brake hard. Just let the car slow down gradually until the tires regain grip.
Okay. And visibility is obviously worse too.
For sure. Harder to see, harder to be seen. Which brings us back to headlights. Remember the rule.
Yeah.
Wipers on, headlights on. Rain, snow, sleet, fog, get those headlights on. Not just daytime running lights, full headlights.
And which beam should you use in fog or heavy rain?
Low beam.
Hmm.
Always low beam in fog, heavy rain, or snow. High beams just reflect right back off the moisture, the fog, the raindrops, the snowflakes, and it actually makes it harder to see. It's like driving into a white wall.
Right. So low beams and signal earlier, brake earlier.
Definitely. Give everyone more warning for turns
Mm.
and start braking much sooner and more gently than you normally would. Smooth, gradual inputs are key to avoid skidding.
The manual mentions fog lights too.
Yeah, it mentions approved front fog lights, usually amber or white, mounted low, and sometimes rear fog lights, which are bright red. They're helpful in really dense fog or really bad conditions, but you must turn them off as soon as visibility improves because they can be blinding to other drivers, especially the rear ones.
Got it. Okay, let's focus specifically on winter driving. The manual calls it the toughest season.
And for good reason. You've got snow, ice, plus fewer hours of daylight. It really emphasizes getting your car checked before winter hits. Good battery, good wipers, good heating defrosting systems.
Tires are obviously huge here.
Absolutely critical. Get good snow tires on before the first real snowfall. Don't wait until you're stuck. And it warns specifically, don't mix radial and non-radial tires on your car. Stick with one type. Oh, and studded tires. Only legal in New York between October 16th and April 30th.
And clearing snow off the car. It's actually the law, isn't it?
Yes, you have to clear all snow and ice, not just a little peephole in the windshield. Clear all windows, mirrors, lights, the roof, the hood. Flying snow or ice from your roof is dangerous. And make sure your washer fluid is the anti-freeze kind.
Speed in winter.
Slow. Just slow down. Even if you feel like your car, maybe you have four-wheel drive, is handling it okay, the manual advises matching the general flow of traffic if it's slower. Don't assume your better traction means you can ignore the conditions everyone else is facing.
Yeah, overconfidence seems like a real danger. It mentions that even four-wheel drive cars can skid unexpectedly.
Exactly. They might handle better in snow generally, but they are absolutely not skid-proof. And sometimes a skid happens with zero warning. Don't let that feeling of capability lead you to drive too fast for conditions.
Which brings us to how to handle a skid. This is crucial information. What does it say?
Okay, it breaks it down. If your rear wheel starts skidding, like the back end starts sliding out sideways, you need to steer in the direction the rear is sliding. So if the back slides left, steer left. Back slides right, steer right, gently. You might have to make small corrections back and forth. Look where you want the car to go.
Okay, steer into the skid for the rear wheels. What about if the front wheels skid? Like you turn the wheel, but the car just keeps going straight.
That's different, often called understeer. The immediate reaction here, according to the manual, is foot off the gas pedal completely and shift into neutral or push the clutch in if you drive a manual. But here's the key, slightly counterintuitive part again. Do not steer right away.
Don't steer.
Why not? Because if the front wheels are already sliding sideways, they have no grip for steering. Trying to turn the wheel more won't do anything, might even make it worse. By taking power away, foot off gas, neutral clutch, the car starts to slow down. As it slows, the front tires can regain traction. Then, once you feel that grip returning, then you steer gently in the direction you actually want to go.
Okay, so gas off, neutral, wait for grip, then steer.
Right. Once you're pointing the right way and have traction, you can shift back into drive or let the clutch out and accelerate gently.
Braking on ice or snow also needs care, right?
Very much so. Brake much earlier than usual. Apply the brakes gently, smoothly, steadily. Try to keep the wheels rolling, not locked up. If you don't have anti-lock brakes, ABS, and the wheels do lock, you need to ease up on the pedal just enough to let them start turning again, and then gently pump the brake as you slow down. Shifting to a lower gear can also help slow you down using the engine.
Good tips. And watch out for bridges and overpasses.
Always. They freeze first because cold air gets underneath them as well as on top. So even if the main roads seem okay, bridges, ramps, overpasses could be icy. And remember, even after roads are plowed, shady spots or areas where meltwater refreezes can stay slick.
Okay, changing focus slightly, dear. Collisions are surprisingly common.
Very common, especially certain times of year. The manual points to October, November, December as peak season. That's breeding season, so they're moving around a lot more.
And peak times of day.
Dawn and dusk, exactly when they're most active, and unfortunately, exactly when driver visibility is often poorest due to the low light. A bad combination.
And the advice is, if you see one,
They expect more. They often travel in groups, so if one crosses, slow right down immediately, because another one or several might be right behind it.
they can be unpredictable near the road, too.
Very. They can just bolt out suddenly or change direction without warning. So if you see deer near the roadside, slow down, be extra alert.
Those yellow diamond-shaped deer crossing signs actually mean something then.
They do. They're put up in areas where there's a known high frequency of deer collisions. So when you see one, take it seriously. Increase your vigilance.
And if you see deer near the road, it suggests warning other drivers.
Yeah, a good safety tip. Use your emergency flashers or maybe flash your headlights a couple of times just to give oncoming drivers or people behind you a heads up that there's a hazard nearby.
Okay, let's get into the really critical stuff. Driving emergencies. What's the #1 piece of advice?
The manual repeats it, emphasizes it. Do not panic. Easier said than done, maybe. But it stresses that in most emergencies, you actually have a second or two to think before you react. Panicking leads to bad decisions. Stay as calm as possible.
Okay, let's run through some specific ones. Tire blowout, or maybe even losing a wheel entirely. What do you do?
Okay, first thing. Grip that steering wheel tightly with both hands. Keep the car going straight. Then slowly, smoothly, take your foot off the gas. Don't slam on the brakes. Let the car slow down gradually. If it starts to skid, handle it like you would on ice, steer into the direction of the skid. The really crucial bit here, do not brake hard until the car is under control and slowed way down. Braking hard, especially with a blowout, can cause a complete loss of control.
Right, control first, then brake gently. Got it.
What about steering failure? Suddenly the wheel doesn't work.
Again, foot off the gas, slowly. Turn on your emergency flashers immediately. And interesting point, the manual says keep your foot off the brake pedal, at least initially. The car's momentum might help it stay relatively straight. As it slows down naturally, then you can start applying the brake very carefully and gently.
Okay, brake failure. You push the pedal and nothing happens, or it goes to the floor. Nightmare scenario. First, try pumping the brake pedal hard and fast. Sometimes that can build up enough pressure to get some braking action. If that doesn't work, you need to use your emergency brake or parking brake. But apply it gently and gradually. Don't just yank it on, especially at speed, because that can lock the rear wheels and cause a skid. At the same time, shift down to a lower gear, L2 or 1, to use engine braking to help slow the car.
Makes sense. Headlight failure at night. Suddenly dark.
Yeah, terrifying. First, try flicking the headlight switch, maybe the dimmer switch. Sometimes it's just a bad connection. If they don't come back on, immediately try your emergency flashers, your parking lights, even your turn signals. Any light helps other people see you and might give you just enough light to find the edge of the road and pull over safely. If they're just flickering or dimming, try to get to a safe place or service station right away. Don't keep driving far like that.
Okay. Gas pedal gets stuck down. Car keeps accelerating.
Okay, couple of steps. First, try to hook the toe of your shoe under the accelerator pedal and see if you can lift it up or free it. Sometimes it's just caught on the floor mat.
Okay. If that doesn't work,
Immediate action. Shift the transmission into neutral. That disconnects the engine from the wheels, so the car will stop accelerating even if the engine is still racing. Then, apply the brakes firmly and steer safely off the road. The manual specifically warns, do not turn off the ignition key while the car is still moving,
why not turn it off?
because turning off the engine will likely kill your power steering and power brakes, making the car much harder to control. And on many cars, turning the key to off can lock the steering wheel, which would be disastrous. So neutral first, then brake, then once stopped, turn off the engine.
Got it. What if you accidentally run off the pavement onto the shoulder?
The natural instinct is to immediately jerk the wheel back onto the road. The manual says don't do that. That sudden correction can cause you to lose control or swerve into another lane. Instead, ease off the gas, grip the wheel firmly, and brake gently. Let the car slow down considerably while still on the shoulder. Check traffic behind you and beside you, and when it's safe and your speed is reduced, then turn smoothly and carefully back onto the pavement.
Okay, smooth and slow. What about the terrifying situation of a car coming straight at you head-on in your lane?
Immediate action.
Ugh.
Slow down fast. Brake hard if you need to. Pull over as far to the right as possible, even if it means going onto the shoulder. And lay on your horn. Blast it continuously to try and alert the other driver. The really vital piece of advice here, do not swerve into the left lane, the oncoming lane. Your instinct might be to dodge left, but the oncoming driver might realize their mistake at the last second and swerve back into their proper lane, which is the lane you just swerved into. Stay right.
Stay right. Got it. Critical. We mentioned stalling on railroad tracks earlier, but it's worth repeating the emergency steps quickly.
Absolutely. 1. Get everyone AUT immediately. 2. Get away from the tracks. 3. Find the emergency notification system sign and call the number. 4. If a train is coming, run towards the train, but away from the tracks at that 45-degree angle to avoid debris.
Okay. And another really frightening one, driving into water?
Yeah. The manual gives specific advice here too. Cars usually float for a little while, maybe 30 seconds, maybe a minute or two. Your best bet is to unbuckle your seatbelt immediately and get out through window. Don't try to open the door. The water pressure outside will make it almost impossible to open, and if you did manage it, water would rush in and sink the car much faster, trapping you.
So window is key. What if it sinks before you get out?
If it goes under, the advice is to try and move to the back seat area. Sometimes an air pocket can form there. Once the car settles, take a deep breath, find a window, maybe the back window is easiest, open or break it if you have to, and swim out. As you swim up to the surface, let air out of your lungs slowly and continuously, like little bubbles through your nose or lips. Don't hold your breath tightly or exhale forcefully. Just let it escape naturally as the water pressure decreases.
Wow. Okay. What about smoke from under the hood? Fire.
Pull over immediately, off the road, park, turn off the ignition. Then, the most important thing, get away from the car, fast. Don't try to open the hood. Don't try to fight the fire yourself. Just get yourself and any passengers a safe distance away and call the fire department.
Right, leave it to the professionals. And finally, if your vision is suddenly blocked, say the hood flies up or wipers fail in a downpour.
Can't see anything. Immediately try to roll down a side window so you can at least see out to the side to guide yourself. Turn on your emergency flashers. Slow down carefully and pull off the road as soon as you possibly can.
Wow. Okay, that was a lot. We covered a huge range of situations there. Everything from, dealing with bad weather and deer right through to sudden failures like tires or brakes, and even worst case things like ending up in water or stuck on tracks.
We really did. And, going through this chapter from the DMV manual, it just drives home a basic point. Driving always has risks. Being prepared for the unexpected isn't about being anxious all the time. It's just about having that knowledge base.
Yeah.
Knowing these specific steps, even for things that hopefully never happen, it could genuinely be the difference. Life or death, potentially.
Absolutely. Just having that mental checklist, that idea of, okay, if this happens, I should do that. Based on this kind of source material, it really can cut down on the panic factor, right? And improve how quickly and effectively you react when seconds really matter. It's the difference between freezing up and actually taking action.
Which kind of leads to a final thought, doesn't it? Based purely on what we've pulled from this chapter. How many of these actions, especially the ones that feel wrong, the counterintuitive ones running towards the train, not braking right away in a blowout, not steering immediately in a front wheel skid, even how to breathe, escaping from water. How many of those could you realistically pull off in a real crisis if you've never even thought them through beforehand?
That's a really powerful question. Definitely something to mull over, maybe even visualize sometimes. Well, thank you for joining us for this deep dive today. Keep learning, keep thinking about these possibilities, and please drive safely out there.